Fans have been worried about Steph Curry ever since he suffered an injury in mid-December of last year. Well, you can't avoid an injury or two when you're a sports player, but it's still unfortunate all the same. All one needs to do is take time off to heal the best they can, and good news folks, Curry's almost there. In this video, we'll be telling you about the Warrior star's recovery. Let's go. First off, the estimated date given. It's always worrying to see your favorite player take a tumble or pull a hamstring. Basketball fans have been there and done that, but what's always relieving is hearing about their recovery and that it wasn't too long. The Warriors announced that Curry was set to come back on January 13th after a long recovery from his shoulder injury. You can bet there weren't any delays because you know how he is. Back-to-back, the GOAT shooter. All those titles ring true because things are looking up for him. Andy Dalton, the beat reporter for the team, reported on NBC that Curry returned to practice just a week ago, and that is a huge step. The star shooter had to take time off in mid-December, and this was the first time he was seen on the court since then. So far, he's missed a total of 11 games for the Dubs because of how badly he hurt his shoulder. It's also one of the most brutal areas you can damage. Any basketball player knows the pain. It must feel so good to return to the place you love. We're sure Steph and his fans both feel the same way about it. He wasn't alone though. Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins also joined him, which is interesting because Thompson found himself in a bit of a rough time too. Up next, his team members in the first practice. In Klay's case, it wasn't anything serious. The veteran shooting guard was absent from Orlando's Magic game, which was super mysterious for everyone because he seemed perfectly fine in the previous games. No sign of injury, but hey, sometimes they sneak up on you when you least expect it and when no one's watching. Apparently, he had suffered a knee injury and wasn't able to make it. The fact that he was practicing his stuff with Steph is pretty reassuring, so here's the cherry on top. The Golden State has officially ruled it out as left knee soreness, so it was nothing too bad. He probably just had to take a night off. And though it's sad when a guy like him misses out, it was for the best. You gotta give your body time to recover. Steve Kerr, the Dubs head coach, also spoke about the mysterious absence publicly. According to him, it was just a precautionary measure so that the player could remain safe and sound. He had sensed the injury before the game started and told him to sit that one out. What's more, the first practice seemed to bring back a team of basketball players who haven't been on the field for a little while. Other than Curry and Thompson, Wiggins just returned from a long injury layoff, so we've got all three of these fellows up and ready for the next game. And now the video of Curry back in the saddle. Not only did we get news of his return and how well he's doing in terms of healing, but we also have video proof. Clutch Points recently posted a video on Twitter showing the star getting shots up at the practice session. Talk about treating the fans, right? His shoulder looks fine in the video, so there's another relief. Sometimes people are scared that athletes don't take enough time to rest because they're under the pressure to come back to the game. Looks like there's no cause for worry here because the GOAT looks brand new. That being said, you gotta realize just how important health is in a field like this. If you overexert yourself, you'll be doing more harm to your body in the long run. Of course, this is something every sportsman and team wants to avoid. It's very clear that the Warriors are being super cautious with him since he's their star point guard. Rest assured that they won't let him come back till they're sure he's ready. Coming up, his actual return to the NBA. Lo and behold, the predictions came true. The point guard did return in a game against the Phoenix Suns, but it wasn't too triumphant of a comeback. Well, he came back with a defeat. First of all, the Warriors did pretty well while he was away. They posted a positive record of 6-5, something that no one could imagine without Curry. The team undoubtedly depended on him in the beginning stages of the season, but it's a different story now that he's back. They ended up losing to the Suns, who were missing some of their best players, including Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. The fans felt that there was a type of coldness from Curry and Wiggins, both of whom returned after taking time off for injuries. Ouch. Curry scored 24 points this time, when his average this season was 30 per night. That's gotta sting if anything. Kerr said that without him, the Warriors were putting on a stellar show and gave props to the guys for holding down the fort like that. He also said that when he came back, his performance during the second half was much better. It was difficult for him to readjust since recovering from something like that did a number on him, as it would anybody. As for the first quarter, he called it a wake-up call. While he saw his boys do their best all around, he saw it the most when they weren't doing so well. Now they can learn to pick up the pieces and figure out how to get their game up from here on out. Now let's look at Stephen Curry, who used alcohol to get out of the Warriors' slumps. First, his love of alcohol and golf. It's obvious that the NBA players love what they do. It's why they do it, after all. That being said, a man's gotta have hobbies, right? And that's the case for a lot of them, but especially Curry, our GOAT point guard. He recently sat down with Esquire and talked about his interests outside basketball. While in conversation, he revealed his go-to drink of choice when he's golfing. It's not the most demanding sport physically, so of course you can lounge sit back and enjoy a drink or two. Well, for him, his choice may come as a shock to many. Apparently, he likes to keep it clean and simple. Knowing his personality, no one would have guessed that he gravitates toward a little tequila soda. That's right, folks. For some, this is just a pre-game drink. Guess he likes to keep it light and airy. Everyone's got a different vibe after all. His history with alcohol is also pretty interesting to look at, too. Way back in 2018, the player didn't do so well in a game against the Memphis Grizzlies. It wasn't looking too good for him. That is until Draymond Green called him and took him out for a few drinks. It must have been a gesture of friendship, but it did a lot for the Warriors. Next thing you know, the team ended up winning the next 3 games after losing 2-1. That's pretty neat if you ask us. Up next, how he was once denied alcohol. It's always tough having a baby face, right? Constantly getting ID'd at bars can get pretty annoying, especially when you're well over the age of 21. Looks like Steph can relate because he's been denied alcohol despite being 34 years old. This happened while he was out with his wife enjoying some personal time. It all seemed normal until it wasn't. The two of them went to a California pizza kitchen and decided to order some drinks. Sadly, he forgot his ID card. Usually this isn't a huge problem because you can still tell if someone is over 21 or not. In this case, even fans have pointed out how the player has a baby face and it didn't come to his advantage in this situation. The waitress refused to believe he wasn't 21, which is crazy. It didn't turn into a huge problem though. They called the manager over and he instantly recognized who he was and ended up serving him. It's a hilarious story to tell at parties, and we're sure that he whips out this anecdote to this day. And now his thoughts on his other hobbies. The Esquire interview focused mainly on the kind of person he is off the court, and he had a lot to tell. Though the man loves to turn up and enjoy his alcohol, it's not his only indulgent hobby. When asked about what kind of golfer he is when he's having a bad round, he said that he loves how refreshing it is. When it's NBA season, it's easy to have a good day in golf because you just need that kind of recharge and a getaway. As for when it's not in season and he's not doing too well generally, he likes to just kick back with a cigar and watch the others. What's more is, he has even golfed with Barack Obama, not just once, but many times over the years. Turns out they've been on the same team often. When they've had to face each other, he admitted that the former president had a 2-1 on him. He takes a loss with dignity, that's for sure. But you can't write it in stone since the two of them have their games in different places. If you want to know how they're against each other, you'll need to see the index because that's where all the strokes get accounted for. Last but not least, his children's book, A Man for All Seasons. He wrote a children's book called I Have a Superpower, and it has some heavy messages in it. It doesn't matter if you're tall or short, you can reach your goals no matter how you're born. Curry described the reason why he felt it was so important for kids to know this. For him, you gotta keep confidence when you're being picked on and not get discouraged because that can stick with you for life. He got bullied as well, and he wanted everyone to know that they were in fact enough. Cheers to that. That's all for this video, folks. What do you think of Steph Curry's return to the NBA? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video.